So this comes to us from an NBCnews.com story. The Mine Workers Union endorses Biden energy policy in exchange for job training. So you heard that right. United Mine Workers of America leadership announced on Monday, the story says, that they will support President Joe Biden's green energy policies in exchange for a robust transition strategy, a move the union hopes its membership will support as a way to transition towards new jobs. So guys, this is actually big news for Kentucky, right? Because, it's an endorsement of this conversation that we had a couple of weeks ago about the live clean coal, quote unquote, the impact coal companies are having on communities, clean waters, and of course, above all, the workers that are sort of left in the lurch when these companies, decide that they've had enough and they just take off without really taking care of their financial obligations. Clearly, United Mine Workers President Cecil Roberts realizes he's going to get a much better deal for his workers from Joe Biden than he will from one of these constantly bankrupt coal barons. He's delivering Biden's climate agenda as long as the White House delivers on the, quote, just transition, unquote, funding to ensure that coal communities can find new economic opportunities in the clean energy economy. And that's going to begin under the American Jobs Plan, much of which is targeted toward where? Toward rural America, like much, if not most, of Kentucky. Here's some of the stuff just a few bullet points to throw at y'all that would be included in this. $100 billion for rural broadband. How does that sound? $10 billion for water infrastructure. And Martin County will be getting some of that. $2 billion for rural housing. We could use a lot of that too. $20 billion for, quote, off-system, unquote, bridge repairs. I'm not quite sure what that means, but anything having to do with bridge repairs has got to be good. $10 billion community revitalization fund and $10 billion to help rural electric co-ops like we've got here to do what? To transition to clean energy. And the UMWA is not alone. The clean energy future envisioned by Biden and the Green New Deal is actually popular. Really? Yeah. New polling from Data for Progress shows that the planks of the deal are all a net positive for voters, voters being much more likely to support their member of Congress if that person gets behind the plan. How much support? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Voters say they support the Green New Deal by a 31-point margin. That's 60% support versus 29% oppose. The proposal receives support from nearly all Democrats, 83%, and a majority of independents, 57%, not bad. Notably, despite persistent right-wing messaging against the Green New Deal, over 1/3 of Republican voters still support it. That's 36%. So very good numbers. And, once this is passed, it's going to have legs. It's going to have significant impact all across the country, and especially here in rural Kentucky. So not news of the week, news of the very strong. Back to you.
That's great. Thank you so much, Nate. So it's really exciting to hear that, the United Mine Workers is coming on board, that, the Green New Deal, even despite, how much airtime trying to scare every Fox viewer about the, boogeyman of socialism and the Green New Deal, it's still popular, right? So that's, I think, really exciting. And it's important because, this is Earth Week. We've got new commitments being made all the time about climate change. We've got, I think Biden got China to commit to coming to the kind of climate summit, and that's really critical in terms of actually addressing the problem, in terms of getting all the big emitters on board. So this is exciting, and this is, I think, hopeful. And I think, United Mine Workers are doing the right thing for their workers, right? They're going to get they truly are going to put these communities, coal mining communities, in a much better spot if they are playing ball with the administration and, seeking the best possible deal for their communities, which, benefit all of us here in Kentucky for sure. Kimberly, do you have any thoughts on that story?
Yes, I do. I'm just over here. Just if one more thing happens so good today, I'm just going to explode. This is wonderful news, and it adds some security to people. And the Green New Deal, I always thought was a great thing to have, exactly, but a lot of people didn't really understand what it was. But I know that, as Nate said, It's going to provide so many things. I just think that America did the best thing when we elected President Joe Biden and Madam Vice President Kamala Harris. This just shows you one more thing about the administration, that it cares about people. And I like that. Matter of fact, I love that.
It's a nice change of pace, right? It really is. You know, trying to bring people together, trying to get, get our communities stronger, not just divide people, pit them against one another. Bessie's very excited about that all. She's joining us here. Ken, do you have any thoughts about that story?
Infrastructure. I mean, if this would mean so much, because all the coal jobs, as we've talked about over the last few years, they've gone away. And so like what we're getting is maybe an opportunity to become, not 45th in the economy, but maybe 30th, maybe 25th. Maybe we can excel. Maybe we can really just accept this as Kentuckians and move forward and learn different ways to make a living, because I feel like we are hard workers. I mean, every Kentuckian I've ever worked with is an amazing worker, and we want to learn. So, I mean, we're not just coal people, and the infrastructure would really do a lot for our community if we focused on that.
Yeah, I did like that polling that showed people are more likely to support their Congress member if they're behind the Green New Deal. Come on, Andy Barr, paying attention here. Get on board, Andy Barr, or get out of the way.